Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I gotta thank Prince Scott here. Apparently I got a £10 donation. I don't even know how that works. He says, thanks for pointing me to the Some Developer Education site from one of your previous videos. No problem, man. Anything I can do to help. Thank you so much for the £10 donation. I guess there's some kind of super chat, or I don't know how, I don't know. I don't pay attention to those extra features on my YouTube channel. I mean, I have the merch thing, but other than that, I don't really do too much. But anyway, wanted to thank Prince Scott here just for that donation. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of good use out of the Some Developer Education site. Did anybody else have a chance to take a look at that site? If you did, put it down in the comments section. Let me know. You can also tag me over there on Twitter. I'm at WorkingMoneyCH on Twitter. So if you're not following yet, give me a follow on Twitter. Tag me on Twitter. I'd like to know if it is working out for you as well. So thanks so much to Prince Scott, guys. I wanted to bring up the crypto market here. Bitcoin right now trading at $23,000. And it's been a slow grind up. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's been a slow grind up, not just for Bitcoin, but for other cryptocurrencies as well. Of course, everything is following Bitcoin at this moment in time. Some are saying that this is a bull trap and that people are going to get rugged and that we could even go lower. Now, I've talked about this in former videos, in previous videos that I've done. You know, this correction, we've only really seen about 75%, and 80 to 85% is not unheard of. 80% would bring us back to this level of support, this old level of support from back in mid-2019. So that would be an 80% correction, and, you know, anywhere within this level of support here, this supply zone, this would be 80 to 85% give or take. So there is a precedent for this. In 2018, you know, we saw numerous times where we thought Bitcoin bottomed out. We saw a bit of a rally. It came back down, bottoming out before falling off a cliff. And even back in 2000, when was it? 2000, late 2019, early 2020, we saw this happen as well. Of course, at this point here, this was a black swan event, so a little bit different before the rally just kind of took off into mid-2021. So we still really don't know yet for sure. XRP faring all right. I mean, it's trading right now at about 0.374. Again, just following the rest of the market. It's a shame, though. Apparently, poor folks sold out during the crash. Low-income investors sold most of their crypto holdings during the market crash, said a survey. And, I mean, this makes sense. If you have other bills to pay, I mean, you cannot afford to hang on to an investment, then, you know, you got to cut your losses, take some cash off the table and pay some bills. Nearly half of the surveyed cryptocurrency investors, and so this is 46%, admitted to selling some of their positions in the last several weeks. Those with lower salaries were more likely to part with their holdings. So most hodlers tend to be wealthy. The American-based business intelligence company Civic Science polled thousands of cryptocurrency investors to find out how the ongoing market crash affected their actions. 26% said they cashed out of a lot of their positions, while 20% sold a small amount. Unsurprisingly, most financially stable individuals, specifically those earning over $150,000 per year, remain hodlers, since only 28% of them parted with some cryptocurrency possessions. 65% of those from the lower income bracket, though, sold a chunk of their stash. So, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear these kinds of statistics. It is a little disheartening, of course. I mean, you always want to be able to hold. You always want to be able to secure a financial future for you and your family. But, you know, problems arise, and I'm surprised this level here, $150,000. That's a lot to be making for that threshold, but I don't know if anywhere here they mentioned that that was the threshold for people to not decide to sell their holdings. I think they're just saying most of the people that held made over this amount. But tell me down in the comments, did you guys have to sell some of your holdings? Are you guys still holding everything that you purchased? Are you down on your investment? Are you up on your investment? It's gonna get better, guys. Michael Branch also bringing this to our attention. The US and UK regulators are collaborating to enlarge crypto regulation. So it sounds as though we are seeing a collaboration with the UK and the US Department of the Treasury. So they are collaborating with the Financial Regulatory Working Group of the UK. They recently conducted an official meeting to discuss a wider crypto regulatory strategy. Along with the crypto assets controlling, the regulatory bodies from both countries considered the topics of current market developments, such as those involving stablecoins and the exploration of central bank digital currencies. The U.S. Treasury stated all participants committed to continued cooperation to support safe financial innovation, as well as to strengthen regulatory outcomes for stablecoins across jurisdictions. Participants also considered future opportunities for further discussion on broader crypto asset regulatory initiatives. And whereas it feels like the United States is kind of faffing about, the UK has increased pressure On crypto regulation, the working group further reviewed ongoing bilateral and international cooperation, as well as areas of shared interest where cooperation can be further deepened to advance international standards. Just down here, the Chief Executive Officer of the UK Financial Conduct Authority, Nikhil Arati, recently pointed out that the US and the UK will strengthen their ties on crypto asset regulation and market developments, including about stablecoins and the exploration of central bank digital currencies. So, again, stablecoins is a main focus right now for regulators because stablecoins, I guess in a way, could be a bigger threat to be able to thwart sanctions. If you are utilizing a specific stablecoin tied to any particular fiat currency, well, I mean, that means you don't actually have to use the fiat currency. Crypto, I think they're thinking, is going to sort itself out through, organizations like the SEC and the CFTC. Which ones are going to be deemed securities versus not, commodities, whatever, utility tokens. But it's the stable coins I think they really need to get a grasp on right now. This is why now we're seeing these types of partnerships between the UK and the US, for example. So interesting news there. Wanted to thank Michael for pointing that out. Anders L bringing this up, guys. This was originally tweeted out by Digital Perspectives, and he featured this Ripple Swell webinar in a video he did recently. So this has to do with a new feature for a new product that Ripple is unveiling. Ripple's ODL line of credit plus. The new feature is called Wallet Send, proves the structure of this offering under the Reeves test. XRP is money and not a security. Let me play you guys a little bit of this. Not going to play you the whole clip. It is about almost 7 minutes long. I will link it in the description. But here is what they are doing. Listen to this.
Again, I'm going to be presenting something that I presented at the last swell, which is a new product offering called Line of Credit, which we believe really just adds to liquidity management in the payment space. Into it and how does it work? And so effectively in our fiat rails, which we're calling on-demand liquidity, senders would actually fund locally in their local currency. As you can see, they're funding in US dollars. We're using XRP, the digital asset, to create instantaneous settlement of that or conversion of that local fiat into destination fiat. And so I'm just going to skip to the next slide so it stops moving on me. But ultimately, that conversion from USD to, say, Filipino peso happens instantaneously through the use of the digital asset XRP. It's sent over to a receiver like our strategic partners like NEOM, who you heard from today. And ultimately, NEOM and our receivers then disperse that out to the end beneficiaries. So the reason why this one of the comments or kind of enhancements or requests that we heard was, hey, we don't like pre-funding anywhere. And so a place that we made a change is what we're calling Wallet Send. This is how Wallet Send works. And so effectively what we're doing here is we're unlocking that pre-funded origin funding. And so the way in which we're able to do that is that we're using digital wallets. And so effectively Ripple will fund the wallets of our senders. And we'll basically place XRP in those wallets until you're ready to use it. You don't own the XRP until you use it. So that's a really important thing to call out, because as we fund those wallets, Ripple still effectively owns the XRP in that wallet, which means that there's no volatility. You're not subject to the volatility in XRP. The only time that XRP is used is when a transaction moves over the network.
So I'm going to leave it there. Anders points something out here. Ripple effectively solved the volatility issue of a customer holding XRP in a clever way. So if you listen to what this guy had to say, the way it's solved is that a customer has a wallet with XRP, but they don't actually own the XRP until it is used, okay? And what that means is that they only have to pay the spread once instead of twice, as in the old models. So instead of having to pay the spread 2 times, now they only have to pay it once because they don't actually own that XRP. So this is great to see, another creative way to solve a problem, says Anders. Now customers can hold XRP without volatility worries and thus only pay the spread once. Also know that the end goal is for Ripple customers and hopefully others to hold XRP. That reduces available supply. If there are wallets all over funded with XRP ready to satisfy international transactions. So this is a real big deal for me. Now, guys, who are going to provide that XRP? Well, guys, it's going to be market makers like you and I, people who hold XRP, who are going to be offering it to whatever exchange these transactions are going to be going through. So an interesting new application to just kind of streamline that ODL line of credit product. Wanted to thank Digital Perspective and Anders here just for giving that description, explaining how this is going to streamline the process. Again, guys, efficiencies. This is really where Ripple, I think, is heading. They're realizing, okay, look, we know we have a better mousetrap. We know we've onboarded all these clients now. How can we refine the process to make it even better than it already is? So great news there. Michael Branch also bringing this up with regards to new hires, guys, in Toronto. Well, we know Ripple did just open an office in late June in the city of Toronto, Canada. And so also just wanted to mention that they recently shared their intention to hire hundreds of people over the next few years. Indeed, in a video of the branch opening published on Ripple's Twitter page on July the 31st, which was yesterday, the company CEO Brad Garlinghouse described Toronto as a community with excellent engineering talent, which is why the company chose it as a location for its engineering hub. So they pointed this out. We kicked off our opening of our Toronto office. Brad Garlinghouse shared our plans to hire 50 plus engineers this year and learn about the 72-hour decode code cryptographic challenge that we hosted. And so it looks as though 50 this year, but then an additional 100 to 200 employees in the years to follow. Here's a quote, guys. I think you probably are all aware. We plan to hire 50 people this year with an intent of adding maybe 100 or 200 in the years ahead. It isn't just around the decentralization of assets. Talent is becoming decentralized. So worldwide talent now developing on the XRPL. Interesting news there. Wanted to thank Michael for posting that. And Crypto Eddie, I mean, I knew this already, but for those of you guys who were still wondering, XRP is going to be used globally. There are a few hints that have been suggesting this from the beginning. For trivia lovers, she says, use of an initial letter X is facilitated by ISO 3166. The rule equals no official country code. So David Schwartz explains this. 3-letter currency codes are formed by appending a single character of the 2-letter country code of the issuing country. Since the United States country code is US, US dollars has a country code USD. Some non-countries still have country codes. The EU or European Union uses EU, so the currency code for euros is EUR. Of course, XRP is not issued by any country. For assets not issued by any particular country, the first letter must be X. No country code starting with X will be issued. So, for example, since the chemical symbol for gold is AU, gold's currency code is XAU. And then he mentions, for Bitcoin, for example, why is it BTC? Well, for those who care about standards, they actually use XBT. And XRP's first letter is X because XRP is not issued by any country as well. And in the early days, we called them ripples. So naturally, the currency code that they chose for XRP was XRP. X ripples. I don't think anybody calls them ripples anymore, but I have heard the term ZERPs. So a little bit of trivia there. This is why the currency is XRP, but more importantly, guys, this is another reason why even from the very, very beginning when they first named the currency, they knew that it was going to be used as a global currency, going to be used worldwide, and so this is why they coded it this way to begin with, which brings me to this, guys, an older clip here of David Schwartz talking about the price of XRP. Some were wondering if, the public ledger and the private ledger price of XRP is going to be different because, there'll be different applications. Well, I don't know if you guys remember this. I thought I'd just reiterate considering what I'm going to talk about next. The Invested Captain here posted this again from April 14th, 2022. This was Tony from Thinking Crypto interviewing David Schwartz about this issue of value of XRP on the public versus private ledger. Listen to this.
There was another question that came up, and I don't know if this makes sense, but the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public?
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. If it doesn't make sense to isolate something, like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in two places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. So like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP, they called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces off, again, unless something is wrong.
The value proposition of XRP is the value proposition of XRP. There's no sense to snip off pieces, as David Schwartz says. The value proposition is what it is. It is going to be utilized on a grand scale, in some cases on the private ledger, in other cases publicly on the XRPL, for different use cases that developers are constantly coming up with. So guys, your XRP that you hold is going to be the XRP that is going to be utilized globally. And so this is why it's going to command whatever price it needs to command for whatever utility it's going to be used for. And so, if we're looking at huge payments, massive payments, the price has to be high to target those payments. I just did a video, I've talked about this on numerous occasions, that David Schwartz tweet from back in 2017, where he says, it cannot be dirt cheap. It has to be a high enough price to be able to perform, the multitude of transactions that they foresee XRP performing in the future. So there's not going to be two prices. There's only going to be one XRP price, and that is going to depend on supply and demand for XRP. Finally, guys, I wanted to bring you this. From the Wrath of Kahneman, the Payments Association has a digital currencies education project, okay? So this report was just published this year, 2022. So this is a brand new report from the Payments Association. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, the Payments Association is the most influential community of payments, where the connections, collaborators, and learning shape the industry that works for all. If you're an established bank, emerging fintech, or sit anywhere in between, you can help to navigate a complex regulatory environment and facilitate profitable business partnerships. This is right on the front page of their website, so it has over 180 plus member companies. So these guys are, definitely part of understanding what that standard is, and they're realizing central bank digital currencies, stable coins, everything is going to have its role in a new financial system. I will link this report. It's only 4 pages long. I'll link it in the description of the video for you guys. But what the Wrath of Kahneman's pointed out here is this, okay? They're seeking to produce thought leadership content in which they distinguish XRP/stablecoins from volatile assets like Bitcoin. So here, guys, they're actually differentiating volatile assets like Bitcoin and how they differ to XRP and stablecoins, which means they foresee an XRP being stable in the future. Similar to what the World Bank said about XRP and Stellar in that report. I don't know if I can find the video I did about that, but if I can, I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner for you. So the World Bank has now stated it, and, when we hear it from one source, it's kind of like, okay, I guess they, are probably in the know, but, we're hearing it from one source. Now we're hearing it from a second source, namely the Payments Association in the UK. And they're saying they want to actually be able to differentiate between XRP/stablecoins, meaning XRP is going to be at a high, stable value one day. How are we going to differentiate these types of cryptocurrencies from the volatile cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and all those other cryptocurrencies that are trading in a spec market today? Well, I don't know. We do not have solutions yet, but what we do know is that XRP meant to be stable, meant to be a high price in order to facilitate all the transactions and be able to conduct everything on the XRPL that needs to be conducted, whether it's on the private ledger or the public ledger, guys. It's going to be the same price. I'm excited about what I hold, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.